I've been waiting my whole life for this one. Orthopedic surgeon and husband for The View host, Sunny Hostin, has been named in a federal lawsuit alleging insurance fraud. She got on television. She got in. She run these women. Tell me why she got her husband is named in a lawsuit in insurance fraud, and I'm gonna show you exhibit. Let me say exhibit B. Can you show this to the jury?
Sunny Hostin is facing serious heat. We're talking on the brink of bankruptcy kind of trouble. But buckle up, because it doesn't stop there. Her husband? Oh, he's been arrested in connection with a jaw-dropping $450 million RICO fraud case. That's right. Millions in alleged dirty money and a web of deceit that's unraveling fast. How did this seemingly polished power couple end up at the center of such a massive scandal? The twists keep coming, and trust us, you won't believe the layers to this high-stakes downfall.
You're married, Tom, you're married. If your husband's doing something, if he's allegedly doing something like this, you guys would know if your wives were up to some nefarious stuff. But let's just not forget who she is. She's been, for years, lecturing America about morality, inequality, systemic failures, and look at her track record. How many times does she have to go on in the past 2 months and look at the camera and do a legal apology for all the stuff that she said on the show? And then she also, on Trump's win, calling the loss because of uneducated white women that Trump won.
We have to know that. This is accused.
All accused. Yeah, all accused, but he's in the RICO. This is a big RICO case that her husband's in there.
Sunny Hostin may have built her reputation dissecting political chaos on The View, but nothing could have prepared her for this level of personal drama. Think the usual daytime debates are spicy? This situation makes those hot topics look like harmless brunch chatter. The real shocker? It's not just her words making headlines, it's her husband, the esteemed orthopedic surgeon, who's now at the center of a scandal so wild, it feels ripped from a crime thriller. Allegations are flying, and the couple's luxurious life is starting to crack at the seams. With whispers of financial ruin and legal firestorms swirling, the spotlight has never been hotter. And this time, there's no script to control the fallout. Imagine waking up thinking it's just another day. Coffee, headlines, maybe a spirited debate on national TV, only to find yourself neck-deep in a $450 million racketeering bombshell. Not a plot twist from a medical drama, real life. Your husband, the respected surgeon, now allegedly the mastermind behind one of the biggest insurance fraud schemes in U.S. history. And you? You've been preaching truth and accountability every morning on The View. But now, that moral high ground? It's shaking beneath your feet, collapsing under the weight of scandal, suspicion, and looming financial disaster. Oh, the irony is almost cinematic.
The View co-host Sunny Hostin's husband, Emmanuel Hostin, has been accused of federal insurance fraud. According to a new lawsuit obtained by Page Six, the orthopedic surgeon was one of 200 defendants named in one of the biggest racketeer influence and corrupt organization cases ever filed in New York. Emmanuel was accused of federal insurance fraud and, quote, getting kickbacks by performing surgery and billing a company that insured taxi companies and Uber and Lyft drivers. According to the documents, he knowingly provided fraudulent medical and other healthcare services, including arthroscopic surgeries.
Here's the inside scoop. Dr. Hostin is allegedly cashing in big time by performing unnecessary surgeries. Knees, shoulders, you name it, anything that's shiny and profitable. Meanwhile, insurance companies are left footing the bill for procedures that might not have even taken place. It's the kind of scheme that makes you do a double take. Like, oh, you thought I was fixing your knee? No, sweetheart, I was fixing my bank account. A jaw-dropping tale of greed disguised as care, and it's just getting started.
You always say, it's always the people that always do the pointing, and it always comes back to them, all right? So when you said, this is the largest RICO case ever filed in the state of New York. You guys, wrap that around your brain. That's bigger than the mafia case. Like the mafia one was number one. This one takes it over. So he was scamming insurance companies from taxi drivers, Uber drivers, and Lyft drivers. He was performing unnecessary surgeries and then providing fraudulent medical services in exchange for the kickbacks.
And just when you thought this story couldn't get any more tangled, the plot thickens. While Dr. Hostin might be quietly raking in the cash behind the scenes, Sunny is left on the sidelines, desperately trying to keep her polished View persona from unraveling. You'd expect someone in her position to have a plan when a scandal hits, right? But no. Her response has been a cocktail of radio silence and subtle avoidance. It's almost like she's waiting for the courtroom drama to settle itself, all while rehearsing the perfect look of shock for when the headlines finally explode. But let's be real. If Sunny actually believed this would stay a private family matter, she's in for a harsh awakening. When your husband's name is dragged into one of the largest racketeering cases New York has ever seen, it's game over. No amount of silent contemplation or don't ask me deflections will make this scandal disappear. Now take a moment to consider how utterly surreal this all is. We've been through enough political scandals to last us lifetimes. Yet here we are, not tangled in some juicy Washington drama, but embroiled in a story about health insurance fraud, unnecessary surgeries, and a husband allegedly running a white surgical crime syndicate right under everyone's noses. The stakes couldn't be higher, and the fallout is only just beginning.
Guys, this is why we need to seriously have a long, lengthy conversation about healthcare in the United States of America. This is basically it. So Sunny Hostin's husband was basically charged with insurance fraud. What he was doing was doing like fraudulent surgeries and then overcharging the insurance companies for them. This is what this is. So now, of course, he's now being named along with about 200 other individuals in a federal RICO charge case.
Forget The Godfather. This isn't about mob bosses and smoky back rooms. This is Grey's Anatomy if all the surgeons were secretly running crime syndicates. Picture this. Beneath those sterile scrubs and white coats lurks a world where scalpels cut more than flesh. They cut into insurance company pockets with surgical precision. Sure, it's easy to cast blame on insurance companies. They've never exactly been saints, denying life-saving procedures with cold, bureaucratic efficiency, handing out rejection letters served cold, with a side of good luck. But don't mistake their harsh tactics for outright villainy. Try accusing them of shady dealings, and you'll face legal firepower so fierce they could sell sand in a desert. They're the gatekeepers, the enforcers, often ruthless, but not the masterminds in this story. No, in this tangled web of greed and deception, the real villains are doctors allegedly exploiting the system for millions. The insurance companies? They're the victims, caught in the crosshairs of one surgeon's insatiable hunger for profit. Let that sink in for a moment. Doctors playing mob bosses, insurance giants left holding the bag. And of course, no scandal of this magnitude would be complete without a View cameo. The irony here is so sharp you could slice it with a scalpel. Sunny Hostin, the fierce social justice warrior, the relentless questioner of others, now finds herself in the uncomfortable spotlight. Her husband, one of 180 defendants named in saga, a sprawling lawsuit stands accused of orchestrating a massive fraud scheme, defrauding insurance companies out of millions of dollars. Money that should have been spent on real patient care, not lining greedy pockets. It's a jaw-dropping twist that flips everything on its head and leaves everyone asking, how did we get here?
I've been waiting my whole life for this one. Orthopedic surgeon and husband for The View host Sunny Hostin has been named in a federal lawsuit alleging insurance fraud. She got on television. She got in. She run these women. Tell me why she got her husband is named in a lawsuit in insurance fraud, and I'm gonna show you exhibit. Let me say exhibit B. Can you show this to the jury? Roll it, Nick.
You know, doctors suffer because of big corporations as well. Doctors that want to do good, like my husband.
But Sunny, she's expertly dodging the tough questions, staying silent as she clings to the image of the poised woman who never gets her hands dirty, even as the mess swirls right beneath her. You know that saying, when it rains, it pours? Well, this is less rain and more like a full-blown monsoon of absurdity. There she is, perched in her designer chair on The View, casually sipping coffee and delivering sharp critiques on everything from politics to culture. Meanwhile, her husband is allegedly orchestrating a scheme that would make even seasoned mobsters jealous, raking in kickbacks, performing surgeries that might not even be necessary, and funneling millions from unsuspecting insurance companies. But sure, let's all pretend this doesn't reek of a lawsuit waiting to explode. And here's the kicker. This isn't just about Dr. Hostin. No, that would be too simple. This sprawling lawsuit is a tangled web of corruption involving dozens of doctors, entire medical practices, and even hospitals. Imagine the mafia decided to swap bank heists for healthcare racketeering. The plaintiffs' American Transit Insurance claimed they were swindled out of millions, paying for surgeries that were either never done or utterly unnecessary. Now, they're demanding their money back. And the story is far from over. Trust me. It's about to get even juicier.
Last week, we learned that Sunny's husband, Dr. Emmanuel Hostin, was named in a lawsuit filed by American Transit Insurance Company. He's one of 200 people named in this lawsuit, and they are accusing him of filing fraudulent insurance claims and also getting kickbacks from them. And it's a very serious crime. In fact, it's one of the largest, if not the largest, RICO case in New York's history. And they're seeking $450 million. And Sunny and her husband, they are fighting back. They've hired legal eagle Mark Garagos to help them fight this case. And they're claiming that this is completely baseless.
According to recent reports, Dr. Hostin's lawyer is standing firm, dismissing the lawsuit as nothing more than a desperate gambit from a company teetering on the brink of financial collapse. It's a classic legal playbook move. When you're caught red-handed, point the finger right back at your accuser. Oh, you're accusing my client of fraud? Maybe you're the real culprit. This defense tactic is as old as time itself, and honestly, watching it unfold is almost like watching a well-rehearsed theater act. Predictable, yet oddly entertaining. Now, shifting the spotlight back to Sunny. She's gone unusually quiet. On the whole scandal, a surprising move for someone who's normally the firebrand stirring up debates on The View. Whether it's holding politicians' feet to the fire or calling out random internet trolls, Sunny's usually front and center, with her signature sharp tongue. But when it comes to the allegations swirling around her own husband, suddenly she's radio silent. Is this the classic, I have nothing to do with this maneuver? Or maybe she's banking on the storm passing quietly before it completely unravels her public image? Either way, it's hard not to wonder, does she really believe this scandal will stay out of the headlines? Watching this unfold is like tuning into a soap opera where the lead tries desperately to play innocent after being caught in a scandalous affair. Only here, instead of stolen kisses, the secret is an alleged illegal surgery ring. You can almost hear the dramatic music swelling in the background as the world braces for the inevitable, explosive reveal.
Anna went in a different direction. But I love the fact that, Manny is younger and he's
How
very...
much younger is he?
Just a little bit.
He's like 1 year, isn't he? Like a month or a year or 10 years?
No,
5 years.
It's more than a year.
Oh.
Anyway, it's not about me. I think.
Oh, no.
I think that it's very helpful that he's handy, and when we travel, I'm not picking up any bags. He's the one that's hefting them overhead. He
Exactly.
throws the garbage out.
Right.
He does the heavy stuff.
Let's be honest, this isn't just a scandal, it's a billion-dollar mess. Potentially one of the largest medical fraud cases we've seen in recent memory. And it's not just Dr. Hostin in the hot seat here, it's an entire web of corruption, stretching from doctors to insurance companies, hospitals to the patients caught right in the middle of this nightmare. Imagine a heist movie, but instead of robbing a bank vault, these alleged criminals were stealing from our health insurance. Premiums, the very money people pay, hoping it'll cover their care when they need it most. So what's really at the core of this explosive scandal? If the allegations hold water, it reveals just how broken and twisted the healthcare system has become. A place where profit is king and patient care barely gets a footnote. Is this the kind of world we want to live in, where doctors prioritize lining their pockets over healing the people who trust them? And if that's the world Sunny Hostin is willing to defend or accept, well, let's just say there's a bridge with her name on it. But before we point all the blame at the doctors, let's not forget the other players in this mess. Insurance companies aren't exactly heroes here either. They're notorious for finding loopholes to deny legitimate claims and for hiking premiums, without blinking. Meanwhile, doctors like Dr. Hostin are allegedly exploiting those very cracks in the system for personal gain. It's a race to the bottom, and the ones losing? The everyday patients just trying to get better, caught in a system that's supposed to protect them, but too often leaves them vulnerable, confused, and out of pocket. This scandal isn't just about fraud. It's a glaring spotlight on the urgent need for change in healthcare as we know it.
Giuliani shook the tree and a bunch of mobsters fell out, right? This is big stuff. And so, and thank you for bringing that video. It sure is ironic that she's up there. So, but if she didn't really know what was going on, right, which is what she's probably going to say later, oh, I had no idea what my husband and his associates were doing. We'll wait and see what that is. But I think it's pretty freaking ironic.
Yeah. I have a totally different perspective on this. I don't really know what happened with this. The facts will come out. What I have a problem with is the core of who this woman is. Unlike you, I don't watch The View, bro. All I do is see clips.
I know it's just like twice a day.
Here's all I hear from her. America's violent, America's racist, America's bad. Okay. I challenge you, Sunny, and this is Constantine Kissin actually was saying something about this. Find me a country that's not racist.
As for Sunny, she might want to start rehearsing a new catchphrase for her View audience, something along the lines of, you know, folks, healthcare is a mess, and honestly, so is my personal life. Because let's be real, when you're caught in a whirlwind of scandal, this wild reputation tends to take a back seat. And hey, who needs a squeaky clean image when you've got an audience ready to forgive? Or maybe just forget every eyebrow-raising choice you make. But here's the catch. This case isn't wrapping up anytime soon, and the suspense? It's killing us all. Right now, Dr. Hostin hasn't been found guilty of anything. Yet. But the allegations? They're heavy, serious, and the longer this drags on, the more The View itself starts looking like the safe harbor, the calm in the eye of a storm that's anything but routine. Who would have guessed that out of all the controversies The View has weathered, the biggest bombshell would involve racketeering, insurance fraud, and a wife who's probably starting to wonder if divorce might just be the cheaper option compared to bankruptcy. So here's the picture. Sunny Hostin thought she had life all mapped out. A cushy gig on a popular daytime talk show, a powerful political platform, and a shining career in the spotlight. But now, she's smack dab in the middle of one of the most absurd and jaw-dropping scandals in TV history. And her best move so far? Keeping quiet, hoping the court case ends quickly, and crossing her fingers she won't have to auction off her View seat just to cover the mounting bills. But what's next for Dr. Hostin? Buckle up, because this legal roller coaster is just revving up. Will he glide through this storm, walking out with a shiny new medical degree and a clear conscience? Or is this the beginning of an epic downfall, the kind of spectacular crash that has you wondering if he'll end up writing his memoirs not from a cozy beachside retreat, but from the cramped confines of a courtroom or worse, a prison cell? Suspense is practically unbearable. One moment, Dr. Hostin could be celebrating dodging yet another legal bullet, and the next, bam, a new twist drops, leaving us all saying, wait, what just happened? Every day that passes, new details surface, making this mess feel less like a dry medical malpractice case and more like an over-the-top soap opera packed with jaw-dropping revelations. At this rate, you half expect Dr. Hostin to stroll into court wearing a leather jacket, throwing on some sunglasses, and dramatically announce, "This is just the beginning, baby." But honestly, what's next is anyone's guess. With every fresh bombshell, we're left perched on the edge of our seats wondering, did he seriously think this scheme would stay hidden? Did he truly believe he could pull off a multi-million-dollar insurance scam without anyone noticing? Watching it unfold is like witnessing a car crash in slow motion. You know disaster is imminent, but you just can't look away. And what about Sunny? She's far from out of the woods. Sure, she can keep slinging political commentary like a pro on The View, holding politicians accountable and sparring with internet trolls, but eventually the spotlight will shine on how this mess impacts her carefully curated public image. Will this scandal erode the trust she's built with her fans? Or will her audience rally around her, forgiving and forgetting once again? Spoiler alert, if you're hoping for a feel-good legal victory, you're probably in for a disappointment. This saga has all the ingredients for a high-drama, twist-filled season of your favorite courtroom thriller. But here's the kicker. It's all real life. And let's face it, reality often delivers far more unpredictable, messy, and downright hilarious stories than any TV writer could dream up. So while the cameras roll and the public waits for the next episode in this unfolding drama, one thing is clear: the fallout from this case won't just reshape the lives of those involved. It might just shine a glaring spotlight on the cracks in a system that desperately needs fixing. And in the meantime, we'll all be watching, waiting, and wondering just how deep this rabbit hole goes, and who's really pulling the strings behind the scenes.